So, one thing for this blog entry that I want to talk about is the current conflict with Ukraine and Russia. Seeing as I'm now in Europe, it makes a lot of sense to be talking about something that's so close to where I am and something that's really affecting the surrounding area in most of Europe due to the obvious conflict with all the displaced people and refugees and just the conflict as a whole and what it's creating and tensions for relations and all that sort of stuff. And then it's also been impacting a lot of our experiences at like all of our football games we've been to. When we went to the QPR game, the outside stands where we were getting our tickets done, they had people who had buckets who wanted donations and were giving out pins and had the Ukrainian flag draped around them and stuff like that. And they were trying to raise money, obviously, for Ukraine. And that was the first time that we had that experience where they were outside the stadium. And then during that game, there was a pitch invader who ran around, who basically gave up as soon as he got on the pitch and people came over. But he ran out with a Ukraine flag draped across his shoulders on the back of his shoulders. And so that obviously influenced the whole viewing experience of the QPR game because the Ukrainian donation supporters were sitting right behind the net near the end where we were at, so they were obviously there the whole time. We could see them. They were right in our eye line, and their message was obviously loud and clear, and the pitch invader just further emphasized it. And then earlier in the week, there was a pitch invader who ran on at a game that we weren't at, who zip-tied himself to the goalpost and had a t-shirt on that was saying to boycott Russian oil, because England uses a lot of Russian oil, and that's obviously feeding their economy, which is obviously fueling their efforts to further this invasion and all the destruction they're doing. And so at the Tottenham game, there were 4 separate people who tried to do it, and so there was a scrum in front of the net, and so all the players and ref was distracted, and these 2 guys ran on with the zip ties and stuff, and they were running straight towards the goalposts, and luckily the stewardesses and security officers were able to get them and detain them and get them away from the goalposts and stuff before they could do anything, because obviously that would have been hard to deal with. It would have been kind of an odd sight. It would have been, even without them successfully attaching themselves to the goalpost, it was quite an odd sight to see them just running onto the pitch to do that. And then 10 minutes later, on the very opposite end of the pitch, another 2 did the exact same thing, but they both got detained before they were able to do so. But it was just an odd experience overall, seeing them go through that effort and basically work to spread that message in such a viral and meaningful way. And then at the Charlton game, there wasn't that much of an influence. There was obviously the pregame match had a moment where we applauded for Ukraine, and there was signage that was up saying pray for Ukraine, we stand with Ukraine, stuff like that. Just in general, there's so many people now that are displaced. There's millions of people that have been displaced, billions of dollars of damage in Ukraine, and all over just a dispute, and all these tensions are rising and all the political drama that is going on because of it. It's just overall very different, and it's a lot more real, it feels in Europe than it did in the US. It was hard to take in some of the details in the US, but being here and basically experiencing a European point of view firsthand, being here, it's very different, and it's just way more in your face. You really feel the struggle and the need to do something about it, and just overall way that it's affecting politics here is a lot different than how it's affecting politics back in the US. And so just seeing how it's been affecting the football games even, it's very odd to think that, there's people out there that are willing to invade the pitch, do all this stuff just to get that attention on the war and the attention to donating or boycotting things. And so it's been really eye-opening to be over here during a time like this and seeing all of the different responses they have that we might not get to experience being back in the US. And so I just wanted to share that sort of current event stuff, all of the things that I've been seeing while over here, because it's definitely everywhere. You obviously get that sense everywhere you go. You can't really go more than 100, 200 feet without really hearing about it, seeing something about it. Just feeling the effects of what it could be doing to the country itself here. And so I just thought I'd share that and tie in obviously the sport aspect to it, because that's what I'm here for on the trip, is to take in all the sport and the way that sport influences things like this. And so I just wanted to let my thoughts be out there about that and really just inform all of you about what's going on and sort of what I've seen and what I think of all of it. But it's definitely an ongoing case, and there will obviously be more stuff that goes on, but that's all I've seen for now, and hope that just gives a little bit more of an insight to what it's like over here.